Hello, everyone. My name is Josh, and this is a new Teams recap. It is Comms v Next. Comms v Next is getting pretty real. It's coming up at the end of this week, and as you can see on the whiteboard, well, other way behind me here, still got that hashtag up. That is one of the big things in my mind happening right now, and that's one of the things I want to start talking about today as we wade into the news of Teams and not so much Skype for Business from the last couple of weeks here. So let's not waste a whole lot of time talking about what we're going to talk about. Let's just start talking about it. We'll bring up our Infinity screen and the browser, and here we go. So this was from our Comms v Next account. That when I say our, by the way, I'm talking about the Comms v Next team, the four of us that have been organizing for months and months and months, trying to get this thing up and going and make it a reality. Huge thanks to the rest of this four-person team. We've got Jonathan McKinney, Adam Ball, and Pat Richard, all fellow MVPs that have been planning with me and making this thing happen. So thank you guys for all the efforts that you have put in with me since, I don't know, probably October to get to where we're at today. But our social media, our Twitter account here, the Comms v Next account, put a status out there, a tweet, I guess would be the appropriate way to put that, on Monday, that Comms v Next is only 5 days away, and that was Monday. Today is Tuesday, so here we are 4 days away from Comms v Next, and I can't believe that that's actually happening. 3 days away from the Comms v Next attendee welcome party. So excited for this. All the little details are being finalized. All the stuff that needs to be on set is arriving and being shipped in. It's good stuff. Very exciting. So this tweet was aimed at making awareness that it's right there in case there's any last-minute registrations that want to happen, and then also saying a very big thank you to all of the sponsors that jumped on, ready and willing, excited about this, showing their enthusiasm, and made this thing happen for us. The Skype for Business and Microsoft Teams community thanks you collectively, and of course our organizer team thanks you profusely for your support and time that you've put into making this happen and showing up later on this weekend to be on hand for this. Namely, Microsoft. You have been a huge key part of making sure this happens and providing the facility and pushing it out there. Thank you. Audio Codes and Landis Technologies are two gold sponsors. AnyNode SBC and Jabra are silver sponsors. Pexip and Plantronics are bronze sponsors, and then Polycom and Plenum for stepping in there and making sure that the welcome party was going to happen, that we'd have a place to all get together, share a few drinks, and kick this thing off right. Thank you all. All of your involvement and support means the world to us. So thank you. We look forward to seeing you later this week. It is coming super quick. I hope I'll see most of you there. And if you weren't able to make it this time around, keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully we'll, on the heels of this thing, we'll be able to start talking about what the next event is going to look like, when, where, how long, things of that nature. So stick with us, all right? Let's move on to the next piece of information. All right, so this was a blog post. I loaded this page a while ago. This is not from yesterday. It was from like last week or something, I believe. But this was a post that had a few different new items for Teams, enhancements and improvements. The title, Join a Call or Meeting with Microsoft Teams mobile app. Those are some of the big pieces, right? But if you haven't tried this yet from a mobile app, it's pretty cool. The meeting experience you get from a mobile app is very, very inclusive, very involved. I'm excited to see how much effort the developers within the product group have put towards making the mobile experience a front-running experience and not just an afterthought. It's really cool. First of all, you can join your calls and meetings really easily, of course. Good stuff there. It shows you a series of screenshots here from the mobile client, placing calls, history of calls, voicemail, transcription. Then we go down to sharing content and control presentations. This is super cool. Sharing your iPhone or iPad screen or images or live video, a live video stream with all the other meeting attendees. So notice we said iPhone and iPad. All right, Android, as they mentioned down here, will be coming soon, so you're able to share your Android screen and files from cloud storage apps like OneDrive and SharePoint. But this is pretty cool. Additionally, attendees can view presentations that have been shared, PowerPoint presentations. You can request control and then advance slides. So we can see all the different slides here. We see the slides. We can request to take control. We can click front and back. When you're viewing the presentation in a private mode, you can skip ahead, and then, as you see here, you can return back to the slide that is currently being presented rather than your own private viewing of the presentation. Pretty cool control for a mobile experience. So something to check out and get yourself educated on if you are, or if you have a lot of mobile users in your environment that are starting to use Teams. And then, of course, some of your more standard call control features: transfers, call forwarding, simultaneous ring, checking voicemail, good stuff. The part that stood out to me that I thought was really important to make note of, especially people who have been very conscious of the toll that the Teams app has had, like on battery utilization on their phone or whatnot, network and battery optimization. So take a look at what some of these are. This is where they get into the intelligent features that are built into Teams, okay? You can rest assured when you're connecting and communicating with others that Teams mobile app provides the best experience by optimizing your bandwidth. So if you happen to come across a poor internet connection while you're in a meeting, the Teams app can detect that and give you the option to call me back at a number that you've already set, or to rejoin via a phone call. Teams will prompt you with the option to switch from video to audio, giving you continued good audio quality in a bad bandwidth situation. So that's pretty cool, and that's an example of where Microsoft wants to go with this intelligent application. It's intelligent communications, right? Battery optimization. Teams is going to proactively monitor your battery life and then give you options for reducing the consumption of your battery. During a meeting, Teams is going to prompt you to switch from video to audio mode and also provide you the option of turning off all incoming video from others. This will significantly reduce the impact that a Teams meeting can have on your battery for your mobile phone while letting you continue to stay involved and keep good quality for your audio. I like those two things. Those are huge. Even more than the cool new fancy feature things, I think these are big deals for ensuring that audio quality calls and meetings go on regardless of the mobile aspects of someone on a mobile app. Bad internet connection, they're roaming and hit a tough spot for that connection, their battery's running low. Those things are common problems for a mobile user. This helps make that less of an issue. So very cool stuff there. Then, of course, at the bottom of this post, there's a link to this episode 68 of Teams on Air, a day in the life on a Teams mobile client. Good episode to check out. Let's jump over to this video over on YouTube. This is on the Microsoft Mechanics channel. It's been a while since Microsoft Teams has had a good episode on Microsoft Mechanics. And for this episode, Ann Michaels jumped in there and talked about a bunch of the recent updates to Microsoft Teams, especially ones that involve adding capabilities that we are used to seeing within Skype for Business. So very good episode to watch. As you can see, it's been watched quite well already. It was put out there at the end of May 31st. And yeah, I won't go through any of it. I'll let you watch it all. It's 14 minutes in length, so not too much of your day, but a very good one to help you get caught up on all the new features. Ann Michaels does a great job explaining each new thing and demoing as well. So good video to watch. And if you're not used to my shows or how the format goes, and you're wondering where you're going to go to get these links without having to pause the screen and copy the link out, I include the links to each of these bits of content in the video description on the YouTube channel. So if you're watching this on YouTube, check out the description below. You'll see all the links you need right there. Okay, new apps in Microsoft Teams, the May update. I'm not going to dig through this in great detail because there's several new apps in here, and there's not a whole lot of description they give you on the document without you clicking on the links and going and checking those apps out in more detail. But we'll go through them at a high level. First, what we see up here, App Source welcomes apps from Microsoft Teams. So they call out that App Source is where you go to find apps and add-ins that work with a number of Office 365 tools like Dynamics, Office, Power BI, Azure, others. So now you can search for a list of apps that are available for Teams by checking this Teams box underneath the Office 365 category. And then we get an app source list of all the Microsoft Teams apps that are out there. So what apps are new in this area? First one we got is Soapbox. So this has to deal with meeting agendas and following up easy from within Teams. Underneath Soapbox, we have Gel, an interesting spelling of the word. When you say it, you're thinking G-E-L, and when you look at it, you're thinking Jello, but it's Gel, J-E-L-L. Helps you manage your stand-ups and check-ins to know what everyone's working on. Mural, the ability to think and collaborate visually. You can bring your digital workspace for innovation into Microsoft Teams. What else do we have in here? Chronosbot, your personal assistant for daily routine and labor management tasks. Workboard, this looks pretty cool. Workboard's active strategy management solution. Your team can set, measure, and execute strategic priorities faster. Good-looking dashboard, anyway, on Workboard there, and it looks like it would really help with keeping well organized. I think this is the one that I need to check out and see if I can work it into my daily schedule as well. And then we got a number of others that don't have their own graphic in here, but remember this, and as you might imagine, it's talking about an app that allows you to pretty much tag a conversation so that it doesn't get lost in the big stream of content within a channel, so that you can set a timer for when you're going to go back and check that conversation or be reminded to check that conversation out. Freshdesk, so the ability to stay on top of support tickets right from within Teams. Sign Easy, this app lets you sign or send documents for signatures without having to go outside of Teams. Simon is an AI chatbot that helps you manage your Microsoft Cloud services. We've got CloudBot for Azure, connects your Azure backend services directly to your development environment. Apps with new features and capabilities. So these are new apps in the App Source, and then these are apps that the apps we just talked about were that. Now we're going to talk about a few apps that have already been there but have new features in them. Planner, I think we've talked about this on a previous episode. Now you can include your schedule and chart views in your Planner tab. Handy, very cool. I love Planner in Teams. Super cool tool to use there. Here we see we've got a stay up to date with the status of your plans. Here, our charts view. Up above, we have the schedule view. And then right down here, we've got Meekin. Meekin has improved their Teams bot by releasing a new version that includes new capabilities to book meetings between colleagues and customers, as well as improvements to the overall user experience. And then finally, Site 24/7 and uptime and performance monitoring for the Cloud app. Now, in addition to getting your notifications about incidents in Teams, you can add this custom dashboard as a tab to view and communicate in on-site 24/7 data right within Teams. This is one of the really cool things I'm liking about Teams and adding apps in is these different companies that are putting the apps out are learning the art of putting really compelling, really nice-looking dashboards and charts. I mean, they just scream at you, hey, look at me and check this data out. It's a great way to do things. I'm glad to see so many of these apps are building that in. All right, so that's what's new as far as apps within Teams go. All right, ThinkTel, direct routing for Microsoft Teams. So Michael Lamontagne, another fellow Office Servers and Services MVP who works for ThinkTel, so full disclaimer there. We saw in a previous episode, a number of documents and documentation that were put out by Audio Codes and Ribbon for their SBC solutions involving direct routing. So ThinkTel also has some guidance out there now with direct routing for Microsoft Teams, as they are the third option that is listed on. You've got Ribbon, Audio Codes, and ThinkTel as far as the partners that Microsoft has started working with direct routing. I'm not going to go into what direct routing is. We've already covered that, and there are links here where you can go check that out. If you don't know what direct routing is at this point, you definitely should check those out. There's even this official video that Michael included going over a deep dive of the preview for direct routing. So check that out if you really need to dive in and understand a lot more about it. The big deal here is that Michael goes into the solution as offered by ThinkTel for providing direct routing to Teams customers. I'm not going to go into all this. Michael does an excellent job at blogging on all of his posts. He is very articulate. He writes things out well. He explains things very well as well. So I'm going to let you go ahead and check this out, read through it. If you are a customer in their area and think that this is something you want to dive into, Michael leaves plenty of contact information for how to reach him here as well. So go ahead and have a read through here. And again, any inquiries or follow-ups as far as ThinkTel's offering for direct routing, Michael's your man to reach out to. Last up, a post that came out just today, actually, what's new in Microsoft Teams, the June Roundup. Now, a lot of this stuff has the information that I've already covered in these other posts, so I'm not going to dive into them. For instance, this video that with Microsoft Mechanics with Ann Michaels. Direct routing is now in public preview. We already know that. Greater access to SharePoint document library files, setting up a delegate for calls. A lot of the stuff that we've already talked about, the fact that it's there and we've covered it either on this episode or previous ones. One cool thing here that I would encourage you to check out if you missed this when during all the cool announcements came out of Build, Microsoft Remote Assistant. Teams now supports Remote Assist, and you can now call someone on HoloLens using this new feature. They provide a link, super cool to read about. Go check that out. That is awesome. If you've got a HoloLens and you've got Teams, this is something you want to know more about. Creating a team using a previous one as a template. I don't think I've talked about this, but even if I did, I'm going to touch on it really quickly here. If you watch this GIF, this tells you most of what you need to know about this topic. Super awesome capability. You go to create a new team, you click a link that says create from an existing team right down here. Create a team using an existing team. You choose which team. It asks you which things you want to bring in from that team as a template, and then you create it, and your new team is done. It takes a lot of the repetitive nature of creating a team or mundane tasks related to similar teams. Super, super cool new feature. All right. Customize and extend with third-party apps and resources. Covered some of that. Apps and chat. Tailored teams created through the new Teams APIs and Microsoft Graph. That's a good one for you to read through. I'm not going to dig into that on my own. Not an area that I can speak super intelligently on, so read through it on your own. Enterprise app sharing through Teams Enterprise Catalog for apps. So you can control access to your custom Teams apps and distribute them appropriately within your organization by publishing through your company's catalog in the Teams App Store. This goes over some of the new apps and Teams, which we just talked about, and then new features available on the Teams iOS and Android apps. We went over the new meeting capabilities, joining calls, sharing content. They have some links in here for taking a course to learn how to enable Teams. What else do we have in here? HWA desktop app is in public preview. Here's some perspective on how other companies are using Teams. Teams for Education turns 1. There are some really cool things being done with Teams for Education. For instance, this introducing rubric grading in Teams. A cool little GIF on how this works. A little bit more description on how this works and what it's for. Provide continuous and personalized feedback. Share assignments to individual students. Schedule to post. Rich text editing for assignment instructions. Lots of stuff happened for Teams education customers over this last month. So read up on those. I'm really fascinated by this and hope that I have opportunity before too long to dig into Teams for Education and check out some of those features. because I'm just fascinated by how much Microsoft is doing in the education realm with Teams. A lot of really cool stuff there. From someone who has taken online college courses previously, I wish that I could have taken some of those through Teams. That would have been awesome. Okay, that is all that I've got on content. So we'll jump back over here. We'll stop the infinity screen. Thank you all for watching today. I hope that it has been informative and helpful in some kind of way. Hope that you learned something new. Please do me a solid if you found the show helpful at all. Reshare on LinkedIn, retweet on Twitter, wherever other social networks you're involved in that you think this might be useful to your friends and connections on. Please don't hesitate to throw it out there. I hope I'm going to see most of you at CommsV next. If not, well, I look forward to sharing pictures and maybe a few little audio or video snippets as we're able to take them. So excited for that this weekend. If you are going to CommsV next, travel safely Friday. Look forward to seeing you Friday night if you're going to make the party, and Saturday morning if not. Thank you all again, and until the next episode, adios.